Hello there.
Hi, Eve, how are you?
Hi, Sam. How are you? Are we going to this Mizrahi event?
No. What
Oh,
time is it? Or was
it's
it?
like 7:30
Yeah, I don't think I can, but where is it?
at Young Israel,
Hmm?
Young Israel Century City.
Oh, I don't know, but I might.
Parking is a problem.
Oh, I know that.
I guess that's why we moved it till 6 o'clock.
I assume so, yes. When I go to the Chinese restaurant, I park 2 blocks further down
Yeah.
on Pico. I normally
Uh-huh.
find, but today probably will be filled, that also.
I would think so, but you never know. Yeah, never know.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mario,
Hello.
hello. I'm gonna just go off.
Say it again.
I'm driving. So
Oh, okay. Very good. Mhm, 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 mhm.
Huh? Yeah, waiting.
Okay, but even the one that's obstructing, the question, the question is this an incidental finding? Now, what did you say about his bladder? He's got a bladder stone?
Yeah, they commented on a.
Yeah. Samech Aleph Amid Aleph, 61. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Asura, that if you have in mind, in the base of Migdash and you're shechting, and you have in mind to shech the behema to Avodah Zorah, so the animal becomes usher. Reish Lakish Amar Muteras. Because Reish Lakish says you cannot be mechashe from avoda to avoda. So Hanicha Rabbi Yochanan, who says you can be mechashe from avoda to avoda. So the pasuk of the Zoveach Elohim Yacharam is, we don't need it. So we use it for the other avodot. But El Reish Lakish boy kra, but Reish Lakish needs the kra to teach you that you're mechashe from avoda lavoda. So maskif lo Rav Papa, Rav Yochanan lo boy kra. Does Rav Yochanan not need a pasuk? Ad kam lekom Rav Yochanan lo behema. He's talking about whether the behema is osir or mutter, but aval gavra lo baktolu. But the person's not going to be killed for avodah zarah. Based just on that, and also kra comes the zovech lim yacharam because he thought about it for avodah zarah l'chiyuv v'gavra l'ktolo. And then maskif ravacha bravika, and even according to Reish Lakish, mi boy kra, does he need the pasuk atkan like kasher Reish Lakish el behema? Behema said that the animal is not osir. Aval gavra barkatalu, but the gavra worshipped avodah zarah, like midid avish mishtach v'lahar. Somebody who bows down to a mountain. So you can't asr the mountain, a har mutter, but the oved is chayiv. Ella, the pasuk of Zovech Elohim Yacharam is used to teach me that you're mechasher from avodah to avodah, according to Rabbi Yoich. Amar lo, Amar Rav Achim midivti, l'mayda karmelei, Rav Chanan Labayu. Ema yatsa yishtachava, right? Why did the Torah use hishtachava by avodah zarah separately? L'lamed ala klal kulo, maybe to teach me everything. It says hishamer lecha, pentinakesh achreihem, echai yavdu agoyim ha'ele es Elohehem, v'esekem gan ani. So you are going to be chayiv if you worship avodah zarah the way the goyim worship. The mu'ute mai, and what is it coming to exclude? V'chitema, it's going to exclude a poyer atzma lazoifchim. Somebody goes to the bathroom in front of an idol, where the normal avoda is to shecht in front of it. So it excludes that? No, because mi'ishtach avon nafka. When you bow, that's a sign of covet. Ma'ishtach avon derech kibud, avkol derech kibud. Not something that's mavaza the idol. Ela l'ma'ute poyer atzma lemerkulas. Merkulas, we said, was the avodah zarah for travelers, where you threw stones. But by going to the bathroom to Merkulas is not kedarka. It's not the normal way of worshiping Merkulas. Hoyel v'avodaso is bizoyon. When you throw stones at something, that's bizoyon. So who cares about whether you throw stones or whether you go to the bathroom? It's all bizoyon. Maybe I have kol bizoyon. Kamash Balan that no. You have to work to be killed For an avodah zarah, you have to do the avodah zarah according to its derech. But if you shecht an animal to Merkulis, you're chayiv, even though the normal way of worshiping Merkulis is to throw stones at it. Shenemar v'lo yizbechu oda zivchayim lasi'irim. Im eino in l'kedarka, if we already have zovech l'im yacharam to tell me that that's if the idol is normally worshipped with yishtachava, we have that already. Or we have a chayavdu. So today inyan shalom kedarka. So if you shecht to an idol, even though that's not the normal derech, shechting will cause you to be killed. So ishtachava, just like we are guilty if we're mishtachava, there's the other avodos as well, derech kavod. Hasam bezovech lahachis. That means he was doing it just to make Hashem angry. He didn't accept the idol as his God. He wants to be over divrei Torah. There it's only a lav. You would not get killed for that. Rav Amnuna irkasu le'Torah. Rav Amnuna lost some oxen. Pogabe Rabba. He met up with Rabba on the road. Ramalei Masnisan Adadi. And he showed him a steer in Mishnayos. Tanan. Ha'oived avodah zarah. Chayiv. Oived in, but you have to do a maisa. Oimer lo. Just saying, I accept it as my God, that's not enough to give you the death penalty. You have to do a maisa. Ve'ananta, another Mishnah says, ha'oimer evod, or elech ve'evod, nelech ve'navod, let's go and serve, you're chayiv. So that's kavana or amir only. So ba'oimer eini makablo alai ela bavod. I don't accept it as a God only if I worship it. So really, you're also chayv only on the ma'aser, even though he had kavana. Rav Yosef Amar, you don't need that teretz. Tanoi shakalta me'alma. It's like you ignore the machlokes Tanoi, the Tanya. If a person says, ha'oimer boy vavduni, he says, I am a God, come and worship me. Rav Meir mechayev. Rav Meir held he's a mesis. Rav Yehuda poiter. If people worshipped him, they're chayiv. Lo tasel chapesel. Lecha means to the person himself. He's not allowed to make himself an avodah zarah. Ki pliki b'dibur ba'alma. He doesn't want an action. He wants dibur. Rav Meir served dibur milsahi. Dibur has halachic ramification. With amira, you could be a mesis. Rav Yehuda served dibur lav milsahi. With them not doing any action, the dibur itself is not enough. And the machlokas and the two mishnahs can be explained with this machlokas. But Hadar Am Rav Yosef, lav milsi dami. That which I said doesn't make sense. Dafil Rav Yehuda b'dibur nami chiyuv mechayiv. Rav Yehuda would also make the guy chayiv even if there was no action, just dibur. Because Rav Yehuda Omer lo olam eno chayiv at sheyomer evod or elech ve'evod nelech ve'navod. Worship, or let's go and worship. So already by the dibur you're chayiv, and not just b'maisa. So then what is the machlokes? B'may kamifliki, Rav Meir and Rav Yehuda. Hamesis la'atzmo, because he's trying to convince people to worship him. Va'amri le'in, and they say, fine, we'll worship you. Marsar hamesis la'atzmo. That the ve'in, the kamer le'kushtuhu, we believe them. And they were makabelim as the God. But Umar Sarvamesis Latzmo Lo Shmiele. Rav Yehuda says they don't really listen when somebody says, I'm a God. Because Meimer Amri, they say in their hearts, well, how is he anything? He's a human being like we are. So why did they say yes? The in the Ka'amri, Achuki Allah, they were like joking with him. Or they're laughing at him. And the Masnisin, where there was a stira regarding how much power Amira has, is kan b'yachid anisis, kan b'rabim anisosim. If an individual was convinced versus multiple people. Yachid lo mimlich v'toy basrei. A single person is not going to ask advice. And if he said yes, I will accept it, till he was makabel. He was makabel that the guy's a god and he's going to be chayiv. But Rabim Limchi V'Lo Basrei. If there's multiple people, they follow like mob psychology. They ask each other. And they don't necessarily make a mistake and worship him. Where do we see this nafkamina between Yochid and Rabin? By being maces to Avodah Zarah, it says lo sovel lo v'lo tishma elav as an individual. Ha'ava v'shama, if he did chayiv, even if just without avoda, just with saying, but eitz ve'abaya. Mi shiny bein nisus to Rabim l'nisus Yochid. Is it so that there's a difference? It says ki yisischa achicha ben imecha. If you incite your brother, o bincho bitecho eshes chekecha, o reacha asher kanavshecha b'seser leimor, neelcha v'navdal imachiri. Echad yochid anisus v'echad rabim anisasim. Whether an individual was attempted to be seduced or multiple people. V'hotzei hakos of yochid michlal rabim, and it mentioned yochid separately. V'rabim michlal yochid, that their din is not the same. Why? Yochid michlal rabim lahachmal gufo. A yochid who worships over the Zohar gets skila, so he's chumrah on his body, but lahakal mamona. But we don't destroy his money. His family inherits his money. But rabim like irani dachas, rabim l'chal yachid lahakal al gufam, they're treated with an easier death, with sayiv, having their head cut off. But it's a chumrah on their money. In that alone, there's a difference between Yochid and Rabbi. But the other things, it's the same. I'll show you another way to answer the steer in the Mishnahs. Khan, when he's punished, when he did something, when he had action, benisus mepiatzmo. He convinced himself. Kan benisus mepiacherim. Now, why is that a difference? Imi piatzo mimlech. Maybe he regrets. Mepiacherim goy basrayu. He just runs after them, and he's not regretting. That's why he agreed to do it. He's mitzvah. Amar Abai v'no amin Allah. How do we know this? It says lo sovelo v'lo sishmaila. Don't listen to him. There, it's clear he's not being masted himself. He's being masted for somebody else. Ha imava v'shama, but if he did it himself, chayiv. But Rav Omer Aidi v'Aidi b'nisus b'piachim. Both are talking about somebody else tried to seduce him to avodah zarah. For example, if he says kach oicheles, kach shoyse, kach metiva, this is the benefit that will accrue to you by worshiping the avodah. You'll eat. Kach Maria, and those that don't worship it, they'll be punished. And that's how a person is seduced. And that was just with Amira. When you're not Chai be Amira alone, when you have to do a Maisa, de lo Amar le, Kach Ocheles, Kach Shoso. You didn't go through that whole seduction with words. Amar Ravim and Amina law. When it says Nelchav and Avdalu imachirim, Melohei Amim Asher Sivosechem, it says Hakrovim Eilecha or Harchokim Imecha. The Mali Krovi Mali Rechokim. I mean, what does it make a difference? People are close, people are far. Elochi Karmelocha. Mitivusan Shel Kroivim. Those that beautify this idol, and these are people who are close by, then you'll know those that don't have any power, you won't believe in that. And if somebody says in a certain place there's an avodah zarah that's real, it's sheker. And my love, the Omer Le, the Macy says, that the whole formula that we said would trigger an Isser. Shema Aminah, that's in fact how we have to explain it. Rav Ashi Omer, different. Explanation of this here in the Mishnah Seifa, that said you're mechayiv on Amira only, is be Yisrael Meshumin, a Yisrael that's already converted. So with Amir alone, that's enough for him. And Ravina Amar Loizu Avzukta. Not only this, but this also. Not only B'Maisa, but even B'Amir alone is enough. Itmar. However, Avodah Zarah me'avu me'ira. Person worship Avodah Zarah because he's afraid of a person. Or he loves a person. Not real emunah. Abai Amar Chayiv. Rav Amar Potter. Abai Amar Chayiv Dal Pocha because he worshipped. Rav Amar Potter. Because the ikar, how do you determine whether he's chayiv or not? Is kiblas alei be'elohal in? If he accepted it in his heart as the avodah zarah, yes. Lo. Now, where does Abai and Rava get this? Abaya learns it simin eved ishtachav el Mashiach. V'amar Abai. We know mean Allah that as we don't care about his kavanah, as long as he worshipped it, that's enough. However, avodah zarah echad oived, and the Mishnah said, and echad is a beach, echad a kater. My love. Now, how do we understand the fact that it doubled up? It means echad oived is me'ava or me'yira, versus doing the other things where you mamish believe in the avodah zarah. Yet they're both chayiv. The Rava doesn't explain the Mishnah that way. Lo. Rather, Kiminatar Rav Yirmiyah. That Ovid Avodah Zarah is in, like the Gemara explained. If you do it in the normal way that Avodah Zarah was worshipped, then we said shechting, burning incense, and pouring wine, even though that's not the normal derech. If you do that to any Avodah Zarah, you would be chayiv. How do I give you another? I'll give you another proof. It says lo shishtachav elahem. V'lo savdein. What's lahem? Lahem iatam ishtachave. You can't bow down to their idols. Aval atam ishtachave lo adam kamoscha. But you can bow down to another human being, and there's no isser there, and there's no avodah zarah. You're just accepting his dominion over you. Yachol afilu nevad. What if he appointed himself a god, and he was worshipped? And he thinks he's an avodah zarah. For example, Nevad Haman. Haman in Persia made himself like a personal god. Talmud Leimer Velosa Avdeim. So if he's an avodah zarah, you cannot worship him. V'Haman miyira v'Nevad. People worshipped Haman because they were afraid of him, not that they really accepted him. So, and yet you're chayiv. So it's mashma that Ovid avodah zarah miyira, you're chayiv. What does Rava do with that? Rava Kihaman v'lo Kihaman. Kihaman the ihu gufei avodah zarah. He himself was the avodah zarah. He claimed he was the god, and therefore somebody who worships him because they think he's a god chayiv. But v'lo Kihaman, the ilu Haman miyira. Those that bowed to Haman because they were afraid, he's not going to be chayiv. V'hacha, our case is lav miyira. Mamish accepted him as a god, and therefore you're chayiv.
Ernie, what did we do with the Maranos? Were they chayiv Maranos?
The Maranos were anusim.
Anusim. I'm saying so. Also, when you come to Haman, why wouldn't you say it's anusim?
In a chanami, if you did it out of yira, you were not chayiv. In a chanami, this is what Moshe said. The ones that worshipped him because he declared himself a god and they worshipped him and they believed in him as a god, they would be chayiv. But those that worshipped him or bowed down to him because they were afraid of him, they would not.
Okay.
They would not. Amar Abai ben Amin Allah. Kohen Mashiach. Now, a Kohen Gadol who has to bring a korban if he was a shogeg b'avodah zarah. Now, what are the circumstances where he would bring that korban? Rabbi Oimer, b'shiggas ma'isa. He did a ma'isa, but he didn't know that it was being oived avodah zarah. Then he has to bring that special kohen, that special korban that a kohen gadol brings if he did avodah zarah. Chachamim oimrim, no. Behelam dover. He made a mistake in the halacha. He actually thought that it was permitted, which is what he did. Vishavin, Rebbe and Chachamim agree that what korban does he bring? Se'ira, a female goat, like a yachid, after he did a regular shogeg, and not like the other mitzvahs, non-avodah zarah mitzvahs that a kohen has to bring a par, because by shigigas other mitzvahs he brings a par, not a se'ira. Vishavin, Rebbe and Chachamim also agree. She'ein mevi osham tolui. Like if you have a piece of meat in front of you, you don't know what it is. Is it kosher or chaylev? You think it's kosher and you eat it, and they tell you it's chaylev. You have to bring a chatas. Let's say you have two pieces of meat, and you eat one of them, and it's a suffix. We don't know which one you ate. Was it the chaylev one or was it the regular one? So there you bring an osham tolui to suspend you until eventually you find out, or you never find out and you get your kapor through your death. So they hold that the Kohen Gadol doesn't bring an osham tolui. And a Kohen Gadol doesn't bring such a thing. But now, what is an example of shiggas ma'isa b'avodah zarah? Iksavar, if he thought there was a certain house that he was in, and he thought it was a Beis HaKnesses, b'ishtachavil, and he bowed down there, and he thought it was a shul. But it turns out he's a Beis Avodah Zarah, harei libo l'shem. So he didn't have kavanah to avodah zarah. So that's certainly a shogeg. El dechazan darta, he saw an idol of a person, b'ishtachavil. So then there's still a question. If he accepted willingly that idol as a god, mezid. He's not a shogeg, he brings a korban, he's chayv misa. So we still don't understand what's the case of shiggas ma'isa b'avodah zarah. We'll continue tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll learn at 8:00.